Hey everyone, my name is Brennan from WholeCell, and I'm joined today by Ben Petersen from Backmarket, and we're talking about kind of automating your strategy of B2B and B2C selling, using a combination of WholeCell and the integration that we have with Backmarket. Thanks for joining me today, Ben.
Yeah, great to be here. Just by way of introduction, my name is Ben Petersen. I've been at Backmarket for over 4 years, leading our business development and strategic partnership team. So I think you might recognize some of you today, but really happy to be here and talk about some of the synergies that we have with WholeCell and how we work together to make it really easy for you to launch and scale on our platform. So looking forward to the session, and thanks for inviting me, Brendan.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone that's new to these webinars, we have a chat. You can't share your audio or your video, but you can chat with us. So if you ask your questions in the chat box, we've got both folks joining us from, we've got Jeremy from Backmarket as well as Ben here, and we have Mike from the WholeCell team. And Ben and I may also call out your questions as you put them in the chat and answer them. But yeah, we'll get started. I'll be talking a little bit about WholeCell side of this synergistic integration with Backmarket, and then Ben will talk a little bit about the Backmarket side. So we'll dive right in. So for anyone that's joining this webinar and doesn't know what WholeCell is, I like to give a brief overview. So I started WholeCell with my co-founder Harry back in 2018. And we both have over 10 years, maybe 10 to 15 years of experience in the used phone industry and used phone e-commerce and re-commerce. So we built WholeCell as an inventory system designed to solve the problems that come up with serialized inventory. And for the last few years, we've been really solving a lot of these problems of serialized e-commerce sales. So yeah, like I say, we had an initial focus on B2B, folks that were selling phones B2B, and so we built a lot of bulk tools to resell and track your IMEIs and your inventory for those B2B sales. But now we've built a lot of e-commerce integrations that cover a lot of the major channels that we see cell phone resellers selling on, and one of our favorites is Backmarket. So what this means is that if you're a B2B seller and you're selling primarily in bulk to bulk buyers, but you want to try e-commerce, you can use WholeCell. If you've got WholeCell and you're using it for processing your inventory and selling it B2B, starting to sell on an e-commerce channel like Backmarket, you can do that in just a few clicks. And so that's what we've built, is this very easy way to step into and experiment with other channels. And that's what we're talking about today. So one of the critical elements of this B2B selling that I am describing is WholeCell's B2B customer portal. So we have a very lightweight, it's not as fully featured as using a Shopify website or building out your own WordPress website with WooCommerce, but it is a very simple and lightweight B2B portal that you can upload your logo to, and you can show your inventory. You can invite your bulk buyers to this portal. They can create a username and password and sign into the portal and see the inventory that you have. And you have some settings around how you display that inventory and what inventory you choose to display. It doesn't just automatically display everything, but it gives your buyers a very fast and easy way to come and see the inventory you have for sale. And so it's kind of like a direct marketing tool because we see a lot of customers doing this on WhatsApp and doing it on Google Sheets, and sometimes managing the live inventory, especially if you're selling on B2B and B2C through e-commerce channels simultaneously. Those Google Sheets can get outdated really fast, and the messages that you sent an hour ago on WhatsApp, they can get outdated immediately if you are selling rapidly on a channel like Backmarket that has so much bandwidth and volume to produce e-commerce sales. So the beauty of our customer portal is you just have to set it up in a few clicks and then invite your B2B customers, and they see a live view of the existing products that you have for sale and the quantities that you have them for sale in. And so no syncs required. We don't have to sync with another platform. It's just pulling the data right out of your database in WholeCell. And so they can also see the historical sales that they've purchased from you, their returns, and so forth. But this really speeds up the process for anyone that just needs a lightweight portal for their bulk customers. And that's something we've got a lot of customers using today and seemingly enjoying. So that's the customer portal for B2B. For B2C, we've got the ability to sync your inventory with a lot of the popular channels that folks are selling on today. And so specifically, I'm joined by Ben at Backmarket. So the Backmarket integration we have is probably our most fully featured integration, where you bring your listings in from Backmarket to WholeCell, you map them to your SKUs that you have in your product catalog in WholeCell, and then WholeCell talks to Backmarket, and if you've got listings obviously on Amazon, eBay, Swappa, on a WooCommerce store, on a Shopify store, WholeCell is talking to those channels every 10 to 20 minutes and keeping them updated so that you don't oversell. And that is the most critical thing, is that as especially B2B sellers, but any seller that's selling on e-commerce channels, if you want to extend your reach and sell on more than one e-commerce channel, you really have to be careful about overselling, because all of these channels want to give customers the best experience possible. And so they ding your seller performance, reasonably so, for overselling and having to cancel orders. So that's where WholeCell comes in. It keeps your quantities of inventory tracked across all of these different channels. And when you actually get an order from the channel, from any of these channels, that order comes into WholeCell. It gets subtracted from your count of available inventory, and then WholeCell makes an update to all the other channels where that SKU is listed and tells them, okay, the inventory quantity has been brought down. And then what WholeCell really specializes in is being able to commit the IMEI of whatever IMEI you're shipping to that customer on that order. You can kind of attribute that IMEI to the order. And with our Backmarket integration, this is the only integration that does this. That IMEI will be synced up to Backmarket through Backmarket's API, so you don't have to go and manually put the IMEI into Backmarket's user interface. So WholeCell allows you to, you get those orders into WholeCell automatically. If you sell something on Backmarket, WholeCell will update your other channels and your B2B customer portal with the new quantity that's available. And when you commit an IMEI to that order in WholeCell, it will automatically sync up to Backmarket. So a lot of capability there for folks that are wanting to dip their toes into e-commerce. One thing that WholeCell has that I really don't believe that any other e-commerce multi-channel selling tool has at this point is, since we've been serialized from the ground up, WholeCell was built as a serialized inventory system where we're tracking every IMEI from the purchase order when you bought it from your supplier all the way through to the sales order, is that when we sync with your e-commerce channels, we can show you which IMEIs went into every sync that has ever happened. And this can be really, really helpful when you're trying to troubleshoot any kind of overselling issue or any issue with the quantity just not being correct. This is something that we see is sometimes quite difficult for customers to figure out why. So, in this example I have here, why is my inventory count 79? Maybe that's not correct. Maybe that's not matching what you have in the warehouse. And in most e-commerce multi-channel software tools, you can't really dig into that number anymore. But in WholeCell, you can click on that number and get a full list of the IMEIs that are making up that number. And we've seen this. We launched it maybe 6 months ago. We've really seen it have a dramatic impact for sellers that are trying to figure out, these are complicated problems, figuring out how to sell on multiple channels without having overselling problems, without having issues of the wrong IMEI syncing to the wrong places. So with WholeCell, you can actually dig in and see this log, see the history behind it and what's happening. And that means ultimately keeping your seller performance ratings high across the channels that you sell on. And that's really critical for all the channels and for your relationship with Backmarket ongoing. So we try and provide these tools that make these things easy. May asks about, so thanks for this opportunity. Would like to ask how to integrate WholeCell to Amazon. Until now, we do manually enter data from Amazon and as well as Best Buy. So May, we have an Amazon integration just like our Backmarket integration. We'll be talking mostly about the Backmarket integration today, but you can watch some of our previous webinars that are on our YouTube channel about how to connect Amazon. And the nice thing is, the Amazon integration doesn't have this IMEI sync that the Backmarket integration does, but they behave in very similar ways. So you can use both at the same time. And Ben is here specifically if you're wanting to get started selling on Backmarket, you can reach out to Ben and his team after this call and learn about selling there as well. So, but we've got a library of articles to help you learn how to set those up, and you can also schedule a call with us, and we'll help you one-on-one too. So those are our serialized sync logs. When it comes to, so that was kind of talking about how when you're listing, kind of getting your listing set up on the channels and making sure that your listings are syncing properly. That's one side of our integration. Then there's this other side. As you sell your actual listings, you have sales come in from the channels that you're selling on. So when you get sales orders coming into wholesale from back market, we have some pretty sophisticated tools that allow you to attribute, we call it committing IMEIs onto those sales orders. And again, other tools and software for e-commerce multi-channel selling, they have some feature for this, but what they're not doing is that they might just be recording the IMEI that you shipped out on an order. But in wholesale, you're recording that IMEI along with its entire history in our software. So you can see who you bought it from, how much you paid for it, how much you sold it for on the e-commerce sales order or the B2B sales order. So you have this entire history that you're bringing along with the IMEI. But we have tools that allow you to easily, when you've got 20 e-commerce orders come in, and this is, I think this is a distinction for people that sell B2B. One of the challenges can be the additional work required to do to fulfill e-commerce orders. And we've tried to build tools here that help reduce that workload for you. Because with B2B orders, you're selling maybe 20 or 50 phones in one box. With e-commerce orders, you're often selling those 50 items to individual people. And so you're shipping out 50 individual boxes. But wholesale has a bulk tool that allows you to scan the order ID. So you've got these orders coming in from back market. You could scan the order ID from back market and then instantly scan the IMEI that's going out on that order. And you can do that over and over again, scan, to really speed up the process for your pickers in your warehouse. And like I said earlier, when you do those scans, the IMEIs that you're scanning onto your back market orders will automatically be sent to back market to fulfill the requirement that you have as a merchant to upload IMEIs. And this really helps you in the long term too, because for one, it's saving you the manual time. But for two, if you ever get a return from a customer, you don't want it to happen, but it is something that does happen. You can see that IMEI, when you pull up that IMEI, the customer returns that IMEI, you can see which order it was sold on. And you have the ability to just kind of go back through your inventory system, see which order that IMEI was sold out on, and you can see its entire history again. You can see who you bought it from, what you paid for it, did you do any repairs to it, any specific refurbishing in the pipeline. All of that is in your wholesale account. So that's fulfilling by IMEI. And now I'll hand it over to Ben to talk about back market. Oh, Ben, I think you're muted at the moment.
Yeah, appreciate that. And let me know if the connection ever cuts out, having some Wi-Fi challenges, but thank you so much for that introduction, Brennan. Just to talk a bit about back market. Some of you may have heard of us before, but back market's the leading marketplace dedicated to refurbished electronics. We've been growing very fast for the last 5 years in the US. Originally, we're a French company, so we're founded in Paris. And over the last 2-3 years, really our goal has been to be the preeminent location for customers to buy their used and refurbished items. Some of the differentiators that we have relative to some of the other marketplaces is that we're fully dedicated to refurbished electronics. So that includes devices like smartphones, tablets, watches, computers, and gaming consoles. And with this level of specialization and focus, we've been able to find and market to a very unique customer base about the benefits of refurbished and really getting a higher rate of conversion and of traffic to our website. And that's our main value add, is we drive a lot of qualified traffic and we educate the customer around buying refurbished and buying renewed. And so the unique opportunity that we have with sellers of used and refurbished smartphones is that we have a dedicated platform, and that's growing 50% year on year in the US market. And so we understand there's a lot of other great marketplaces on the market, but we believe that we can deliver an amount of growth and of profit increase as well that is unrivaled. You'll find our marketing initiatives to be clever, cutting edge, and engaging. So we recently had a campaign in the New York metropolitan area focused on refurbished devices, and it drove a huge spike in traffic. Our sellers were able to benefit from just really large volumes. And because we have a relatively limited subset of sellers, no more than 200 sellers in the US market. Each one of our sellers benefits greatly from these marketing initiatives, and it really drives their bottom line profit. And again, one of the things we can do is profit margin. So when you look at the competition, there's a lot of price competition, especially in the smartphone space, and but also tablets, Apple Watches, MacBooks, and PCs. What we do is our buy box algorithm is really based around quality and the customer experience. And Brennan touched a bit about stockouts and reducing those, and that's a key part for us of success for our sellers, is that sellers who are able to join and have excellent quality metrics, excellent delivery metrics, they're going to be able to sell at an elevated price compared to the competition. So we've really set up a marketplace that incentivizes quality and that helps sellers have a higher profit margin for every device they sell. Just to give you a bit of a sense of the volume potential, the average seller on the marketplace makes over 40K per month in sales, but we have a class of what we'd call enterprise upstream partners who are doing over 1 million per month on the marketplace of sales. Again, mostly in the smartphone, tablet, MacBook and PC category. So if you do have products in this category and you're able to offer a customer warranty of 12 months, you heard that 12 months is our defect warranty. So it covers any malfunctions in the device. And then we have a 30-day change of mind policy. So if you're able to offer these guarantees and these securities for the customer, you can sell on a marketplace and benefit from this increased traffic. We have a commission structure that varies by category. So you can see the details here. The smartphone category is 10% commission, MacBook category is 12% commission, and the other categories are at 11% commission. And we also have a monthly fee that's going to be waived for sellers coming from this webinar and from wholesale. So it's a great time to join and try it out. I think what Brennan's created with his co-founder Harry is a great platform, an API platform to connect to our marketplace to make it very seamless to try out the marketplace. And on pricing, you're able to set the pricing that guarantees you economically optimal recovery value. So you're able to set pricing that gives you profit margin and test out the market. So that's really the benefit of this opportunity. There's no commitment. You're testing out the market. What we see is that sellers that are really engaged in putting a lot of inventory in the website are able to quickly grow and make a lot of sales. So just to speak to you about the onboarding process, we have a very simple onboarding process. You can see a bit of a screenshot here. It's completing a few basic pieces of information, sharing your corporate information, setting up your bank account for payouts, setting up your shipping and logistics details so that we can manage returns, as well as creating your listings, which of course, once your listings are created, you can set up your API feed with wholesale. So the onboarding process is very quick, very easy. Shouldn't take more than 30 to 40 minutes, assuming you have all your documentation. And then we launch you, and you are part of a 4-week launching process where you are essentially getting used to the platform. We have weekly meetings with you and really make sure that you have everything you need to succeed on the marketplace. So that's a bit about Back Market. I'm looking forward to any questions you have, and I'll share my information here at the end so that you can get all the support you need if you're interested in trying out the marketplace. So I'll give it back to you, Brennan.
Cool. Thanks, Ben. And yeah, Ben, you covered something that I forgot to mention, that our back market integration also has a connection to, which it doesn't have with any other channel, a connection to back market's repricer. So you're actually able to set the price, the min and current price in back market's repricer from wholesale, because they make that available to us via API. So we do have a lot of capabilities in our back market integration that are unique to back market. And that's one thing that is special about these relationships that we have with the channels that we work with back market in particular here today, is that wholesale is building the tools specific to folks that are selling these exact products that Ben described being sold on back market, right? Back market is a leading marketplace for renewed tech. And the vast majority of WholeCell's customers are renewed tech merchants that are reselling. So one thing I've put is I took that link that you have here, Ben, and put it as a kind of a featured action in our webinar. So folks that are watching the webinar, you can click that link at the bottom left, I think, of your screen. It will show up to sign up as a back market merchant. You can also, we've kind of made our emails available. I'm sure you can reach out to Ben via email. Is that a good way to
That's
reach
the
out to you,
best
Ben?
way. Yes, that's correct. I'll drop it in the
Cool.
chat as well.
Great. Well, yeah, and I think to sum this up, our goal with the integration between wholesale and back market is, like Ben said, there's no commitment required. We know that each marketplace has their own their own way of doing things. And one thing that I know we consistently hear from the high volume customers that we have using wholesale is that the advantage of back market is the bandwidth of sales. They are able to get a tremendous amount of sales. Kind of like Ben was saying, you upload your inventory to the platform and you start seeing a real growth in sales. And that has been consistent from what we've heard from customers, is that they're able to sell a lot on the platform. And what this can mean for a B2B seller, someone who's predominantly sold to bulk buyers in the past, is if your customers maybe don't have the price that you're aiming for, or they're not able to take the volume that you're aiming for, if you're using wholesale to track your inventory, getting that inventory onto back market can be as fast as 10 15 minutes of your time setting up the integration and connecting the SKUs. And we think that that's a huge value proposition for a lot of the B2B sellers that we've worked with to move from spreadsheets, how they're tracking their inventory in spreadsheets, to having them in a system. There are tons of other benefits there, but one of the big ones is that if you are wanting to dip your toes into B2C, you can do that really effectively. And we work with the folks at Back Market very closely. Obviously, we're doing this webinar now, but our whole mission between us and the Back Market team is to get you into a place of success. So as far as setting up your listing connections and the integration in wholesale, Mike and I would be happy to help you and spend time. I think, May, you asked about other channels as well, but we will always get on a call with you to make sure that your settings are the way that you need to have them set up for success, so that you have a great seller performance rating on the channels that you're selling on, and that you've got a great relationship with back market. And that's also why we're doing this today, is giving you the opportunity to meet who you'll be working with at back market and see what that onboarding process is like. So that was a mouthful. That's a lot, but thanks everyone for joining us. I'll open it up here for questions. If anybody's got any, Ben and I will field some. We'll see them in the chat if you write them in. And if we don't have any questions, we'll let everybody off early to have a nice weekend. But we take these recordings of these webinars and we put them on our YouTube channel, so that you can share them. If you need to see some of the things we talked about afterwards, you can see them at your own pace or share them with your colleagues. But yeah, this is the opportunity to ask questions if you've got them. I'm not seeing anything. Ben, is there anything that you'd like to add to send us out?
No, I don't think so. I think really looking forward to the opportunity to engage with anybody who's interested in trying it out. Again, I think low stakes, try it out, see if it works for you. We think there's a strong marketplace for your products with us. So appreciate again the time, Brennan, and I can vouch for the wholesale integration as well. It's really worked great, especially as you mentioned the IMEI sync and being able to really trace that chain of custody with that device. There's one point I forgot to mention, which is the importance of IMEI for fighting fraud. We know that fraud can be a challenge online, and one of the reasons that we've been leading the way with requiring IMEI with every sale is in order to also protect the seller in the instance where you might have customer fraud. So that's another key value add, is when you have systematically integrated IMEI, you're able to better protect yourself against fraud, which can be an obstacle in e-com. So it's something we're working very closely to do on the back market side, but wholesale is, I'd say, the leading platform to be able to trace that IMEI in the chain of custody there. So, but just wanted to end on that, and thank you again, everybody, for joining.
Yeah, thanks so much. We'll be talking to you in the next one, and thanks for joining me, Ben. This has been great. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.